Welcome back to RMTS. This one, everybody knows exactly what the hell is going to be talked about right away because we had some crazy stuff happen this week in the world, not even just my life that is, always in turmoil. But it seems like everything's kind of just being turned weird and, I don't really know exactly what's going to happen.
I
It
am
seems like,
bricked up over the LA riots. This is what I've been waiting to see. This is the whole, like, quote unquote, this is what I voted for. It's like, yeah, get them all out of here. These ICE raids are great. If you're illegal, why is anyone defending that? How can anyone defend that? Oh, because you lose all your votes. Oh, I'm watching all these protesters get beat up by the cops because they're not protesters. They're rioters. This is terrorism. I'm happy to see it go away. I'm happy to see something done about something in this country.
I am too. And after seeing like the start of this, and that one guy that like posted, I guess it was like LA tweets or something like that.
Oh
And he's
yeah,
like, hey, and he came forward and acknowledged that, hey, he might have done something wrong. And he said, hey, I'm sorry for doing this. I apologize for everything that happened. I turned myself in. I've given over all of my information, and everything that has ever been posted on my Twitter is being looked at by the police now. And if anything happens and they want to charge me with anything, I will turn myself in that day. And I'm like, that is how Americans should be. Like, I don't even know who this dude is,
the LA
but if
Standard
that,
guy, right?
yeah, I believe so. It was like a LA Dodgers logo with like a
Yeah, yeah.
rainbow behind it. So, like, even saying it this way, if he's not an American, even though he did a fucked up thing to start with, that is the most American thing I've seen done in this entire fucking situation.
What I saw about him is that he was already convicted of a felony in the past for like stalking, served time. So
Wouldn't be surprised.
that's him being like, "Oh, I can't go back to jail for another bigger felony." And if
That's
and if like
accepting it though.
but also like the plea deal here where it's like, "Hey, you guys get all my information so you can use this to now round up where I led people. Please don't ruin my life even more." He still deserves it though. He's trying to dox and get ICE agents killed. And I think at that point, there's only so much begging you can do. And I think he's even like fearful of non-police, like non-government actors at that point.
I think
So
that's exactly what he said. I think his family's being attacked and everything else. And he's like, guys, if you guys want to attack somebody, attack me. But my family that's around me should not be attacked. And it's like, okay, you may not have done the right thing at first, but how you're handling it correct.
yeah,
And it's just like, fuck, man. Like, I wish that realization that that dude is having is a realization that a lot of the country kind of needs to have.
that's why I'm so conflicted. I'm like, but if everyone was honest and stopped, like if everyone had their epiphany to be like, oh, I need to not be evil. The world is so much brighter. If everyone had that, we'd be in such a better place. But the problem is he was so evil to get to that point and then like doubled tripled down and then got caught like when his name got put out there and everyone realized who it was he folded instantly. So it's also like tough guy actually get punished but he's doing the right thing. I don't know how to feel about this.
Exactly. It's a lot like a lot of the people that are illegals that come here and just cross over the border because they're trying to do better. It's like I can understand as a human what you're trying to do. I can understand as a
Are
dad
there
what you're
any of
trying to
those
do.
left anymore though? Like maybe that argument was in the 90s but I don't think it's happening anymore.
But still, those people technically, logically, and I completely agree with them, being deported. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like, I can understand the argument of like, hey, there's people here that are actually adding in some ways to the country that we love. But at the same time, they still did something wrong, and they still have to be held accountable for it. And I said this last night on the mental health show. Like, I almost think that the people that came here legally didn't commit crimes and stuff like that. If they gave them a path back to citizenship by going and then like sign over the paperwork, you have a family, you're doing the right things, and we're not granting you any money. They sign paperwork saying that they accept no public assistance for 10, 15 years, whatever it is.
Okay, I was about to say like I'm against you until you say that. Cuz it's like I my biggest gripe is I hate when cheaters are rewarded. Like if you do that like no, now you're in the back of the line. You get back of the line for like 3 years instead of hey, we know who you are now. We know that you have roots here, so we'll let you in legally now. It's like I don't like that thought.
To me, I don't think that like a lot of these people, the people that did do a bad thing by crossing the border, I completely agree that it's a crime. So like I don't want anybody to take these words out of context,
Hmm.
but it's like they've already been here. If they haven't committed a crime and they're not a part of a gang and they're still turning over and making sure that their family is taken care of, at some point we kind of can't look negatively at that completely. Did they do a wrong thing at the start? Absolutely. But that wrong thing at the start doesn't wipe away anything that they've done since. And if they haven't done wrong since, maybe there's a spot somewhere in this gray area of how to fix this.
No, I don't believe that. Like, you don't use a wrong to turn into a right. Once you have wrong, it's tainted, and that's what I mean. Where it's just that you shouldn't have any reward for being wrong. There should be extra punishment.
Oh, and I completely
So that's what
agree.
I mean. Where it's
But
like
I also
the turnaround. That I do agree with like the no whatchamacallit,
I
but it's
don't
like I think at the same time I feel like you blew your opportunity to be here by coming in illegally in the first place, banned forever.
but like
Go
we're
to a
also
different go Canada.
we're looking at a situation that is completely broken. The only way to get in and actually have a change within a year, 2, 3 years is applying for asylum or going over illegally. And it's like neither one of those answers is correct. Like, I think we both agree with that. You know what I'm saying? We both do not believe that applying for asylum when you're not in a war
Yeah,
torn
it's not
country
valid.
isn't
Yeah,
isn't the right answer.
there's still legal immigration though. That does exist.
But I don't know the timelines. Like I haven't Googled
Well,
it. So like
that's
and
why
that's
we
me being
should be
honest.
in. Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking like you're having a lot of this when my experience from just like hearing anecdotal things about is like I did it legally. It took a bit, but I'm pissed at all these people coming in illegally or trying to cheat the system with asylum. So we actually need to see how sturdy the legal system is because it's been so overrun with illegals. Imagine if the Department of Homeland Security or all the immigration agencies don't have to deal with 10 million attempts to cross the border in a year. They could probably get through a lot more legal citizens.
Oh, I agree with that completely.
So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think our legal immigration is broken enough to justify illegal
Okay.
passage. And if everyone's cheating and you choose to cheat, you're no better than them. You're still evil. Get the fuck out.
So for relatives of U.S. citizens, spouse, unmarried children under 21, and parents of a U.S. citizen over 21. It is 10 to 14 months on average. When you're applying in the U.S., it's 10 months.
What do you mean applying in the U.S.?
It, like if you come here and you're getting married and everything else, you have that like time period of allowed to be here, and then you have to
Mm.
apply and everything
I
else.
think the whole marrying for a green card thing is fucking broken too. Like that's a
Um,
loophole I disagree with.
if you're working here, it can take 18 to 24 months to be able to be allowed to come in. But if you're here, it takes 7.6 months or 15 days.
Yeah.
And if you're applying for naturalization, it's 5.6 months. And to replace your permanent resident card, it's 9 months.
Some of it sounds a little too short for me. Because at the same time, it's one of those things where, like, well, if you're claiming asylum, that's because, like, you're escaping actual threat and danger to your life. If you're actually trying to become a citizen, 2 years is nothing. That's your, oh, my high school into going to Mexico University, and then I'll work through it while I'm in college to come out and show my worth. Yeah, like that seems about fair. Where it's not like, oh, Mexico sucks. I need to get out in 6 months or I die. It's like, no, immigration should be a multi-year process to earn the citizenship.
And this is interesting to me. And I understand that these timelines are going to be slightly different because of, problems and the backlogs that we're obviously facing. It says the legal standard for a decision with an asylum case should be 180 days. They can expect it to take several months to a few years, and other factors extend this. Uh, there's an interview within 45 days of affirmative cases, and they have to make a decision within 180 days, which is often not met due to backlogs and other factors. And you could apply for a green card after a year of being here. That's why it's being beaten. Logically, is you have people that are coming into the country, filing for asylum, being allowed to go through, and then after a year of being here, they're like, "Oh, look, they haven't even talked to us." Um, green card,
Yep.
and then getting it.
Well, also the big problem with the asylum claims is like asylum should, according to how it was, is like it should only be valid at ports where you turn yourself in for asylum, and then that's where they file the paperwork. They turn you out somewhere into the country, and they keep an eye on you until it's all valid. At least that's my understanding. But now instead, people are trying to enter illegally. They get caught and go asylum. It's like, but there was nothing. Like, no, you're only saying that because you got caught. And then that's making it to where, and then Democrats, they're fucking rubbing their hands together and going, oh yeah, that's another vote in 2 years. We'll let them in.
Like, and I don't want to even like shit on Mexico because as a whole, I could understand that their country's fucking weird right now and has been for a while. It's
Yeah, it's
been
been
run
ran
by
by cartels
cartels
since the 80s.
and everything else. It's like, I completely understand where you have a problem with living there. I completely get it. That's the hard part is like, I understand.
I don't
But
think we need to be
why?
the babysitters and caretakers of the entire world.
But that's what the country was founded on. So,
No,
you know
it
what
was founded on staking your claim and
and
also
taking your sick and unwell and, helping them to get back on their feet.
when did that actually like kind of become the solidified thing? Because we were going against like the tyranny of a 2% tax or whatever. But then when did it actually become like, oh yeah, just let in everyone for our own prosperity? Because it was definitely a different time back in the 17 1800s when it's like, oh yeah, but you came to work. You also came because like the potato famine happened and you're literally dying in 3 months if you don't do it otherwise.
Okay, so the whole idea of like Ellis Island or there being a place, whether it's New York City or elsewhere, the ones that are in New York City started in 1855, right?
Later than you'd expect, huh?
90? Absolutely. I thought like
You
so.
thought that shit's in the Constitution.
No, no, I
All
didn't. I knew
right.
that, but
Well, I mean,
like,
like close enough to that, where it's just like, oh yeah, that's the founding fathers saying that one. No, that's modern.
no, I kind of took it. So black and white pictures kind of tripped me out a little bit. Like it time
Fair.
distorts until you see color. So like 1900 kind of feels like 1800 and like anywhere in there is kind of like jumbled because there really isn't much going on interactive with the US and other places. Like you have the War of 1812, you have Texas and everything else happen and then it kind of quiets down. And then it kind of gets fucky because we're all off on our own. But like as a whole, I'm not kind of surprised by that. I kind of expect that, especially when you look at how, the Irish were treated during World War One
Yep.
and the Italians during World War One. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I
It's
mean.
not.
Like context matters. Where it's like, oh, do we have the capacity for our industrialization to allow for a proper set of immigrants to come over correctly? Yes. In the 1800s, early 1900s, do we have open it up to everyone in need? That was never ever the immigration policy.
No, it definitely is like the hypothetical logical way to sell it to other people. I completely agree with you. I'm not going to disagree with you on
Yeah.
that point. I don't disagree with you on that point. But I do think like that is the moral answer. And the actual answer of what we should do is somewhere in the gray area in between the moral answer and the 100% legal answer. Because I don't think that, rounding up the people that have done everything right other than cross the border first should be the answer. We should be
That's the
going for
answer.
the violent people first.
Now you gotta get them all.
Oh, I agree. But like
Because
the
like
people that are easy to get out, you should be the first people to get out, should be the violent people that are actually hurting people.
from the amount of illegals I've seen and like the amount of ICE raids and deportations going on where it's like it's gone up every week where it's like, oh, we got 2,000 last week. Now it's 2,500. Now it's 3,500 a week. If they're free pickings, get them. Like and that's also the kind of crazy thing where it's like, oh, they found every J6er, even if they had like masks or if they were wearing different clothing or if they looked different, because 66% of the FBI was assigned to it. We know where 90% of the illegals are. We know where all these people are. If it just takes that extra little bit of, okay, we're in town, get all 200 of them, there we go. Like that's the play, and you're going to get the criminals inside of that. Like they hide amongst themselves, so you have to get them all. Just round them all
Oh,
up, get them out of here.
I completely agree.
And wait,
I
and the thing is, like, from all this I've seen, there's millions, tens of millions more of illegal immigrants than we know about. Where the numbers like, oh, there's 10 to 15 million, that's got to be over 20 million. So if it's this prevalent, we can't be like, oh, gray area anymore. It's if you didn't belong here, just we'll figure it out later, and then we'll have the money and the resources to legally immigrate people in.
Yeah, and I think honestly that's the answer.
And pull up
Like
that tweet from the DHS
yeah,
that they're giving $1,000 because it's relevant.
I was about to go there. That's literally what I was
Yeah,
going to.
as I was stalking,
Um,
I saw your camera like look up. I'm like, he's doing it.
yep. I have like 15 fucking tabs open, so it takes a second. But you sent this tweet, and I actually like this idea. Today, the DHS is announcing that illegal aliens who self-deport through the app will receive forgiveness for any failure to depart fines, in addition to a cost-free travel and $1,000 in exit bonus. Self-deporting illegal aliens take control of their departure and may preserve the opportunity to come back to the U.S. right and legal way in the future.
That's how I agree with it. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, this. That's how it needs to be done. But that also made me realize where it's just like $1,000 each. That's going to turn into billions. That could turn into tens of billions. Because my tweet's the top one if you look at it. Also, probably because you follow me. I don't know how that algorithm works.
Yeah,
Where
that is how it
I
works.
was
Yep.
I was misconstrued, but it was also in kind of a funny way. Like the replies to me are hilarious too. Cause like my new thing is like, oh my god, there's actually 30 million illegals in this country. I'm not over exaggerating, and that's why everything's terrible. That's like, oh yeah, 10 million seems unsustainable. No, what happens if you actually double it or triple it? What if there's actually 30 million illegals in this country? That explains why everything's fucked. The housing prices, the job economy, inflation, everything. Everything is explained by if we kick out the illegals, we have a functioning country again.
Yeah, even if it's 20%, which I think we have a much bigger problem than that. But even if it drops everything by like 10 to 20%, think of what that change does.
We also have to think
And
about the long trail where it's like, oh, 10 years of minus 10, 20%, everyone's doing great, instead of the 20 years of creeping that up and making nothing affordable.
like it gets really weird when you think about it. Like think about when Bush was in office, if that's the first time that you can remember, and like there was $5 gallons of gas, but everything else was dirt fucking cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember when my parents got the apartment after we left the city. That apartment was a 3 bedroom essential half of a house, and it was like $800 a month. And it's just like there is zero reason for rent to be increasing by that much when we're not even clearing how many people are here. We have a decreasing population, not an increasing population.
Yeah.
Where does those numbers come from? Why is rent increasing?
Well, that's
It's
also
like,
when BlackRock buys everything up and then, just starts doing all their weird rental stuff.
but it's like, at what point are we talking about a legitimate problem? And it's like, okay, I can understand where they're, putting people in houses so that way they're available. Okay, I get that. I completely understand. People are going to want to move out of cities. So, as you get farther away from the city, those rents are going to increase now because people don't want to be in the city as much. But it's like, as a whole, what does that percent change look like? Does that go up
Huge.
200%? Or does that go up fucking 2000%?
Yeah, well, it's weird when you think about it because if there's a 10% rental vacancy, the prices aren't going to go down 10%. They're going down 25%. It's
Yeah.
not a one to one there. And then also there's going to be more competition where it's just like, oh, there's too many vacancies. There's no one to rent this out. So I have to be competitive now. It's reverse market economics. Where it's supply, well, actually not even reverse. It's just supply and demand. The supply is now too high, or yeah, the supply is too high. The demand's too low. Rent goes down. Wow. And it turns out like 10% or 10 million or whatever, where it's just like, yeah, open up 10 million houses tomorrow, or
In
rentals, apartments, whatever. Prices go down 30%.
in New York City, supposedly, the rental vacancy rate in New York City is currently at a record low of 1.4%, according to the 2013 New York City Housing and Vacancy Survey. This is the lowest it's been since 1968, and the vacancy rate is particularly low for apartments renting below 1650, with some being less than 1%. There is no way.
How many illegals do you think are in New York City?
So many. And I
See,
know
that's
that
what I
sounds
mean.
so brain dead. I know that sounds so brain dead, but it's like, okay, so when you go to DSS here in upstate New York, they put you in every single shitty motel that was on the side of the road. So like if you drive out of your house and you see a motel on the side of the road, DSS would put you there, regardless of if you have one person in your household or five. They don't care. They're just going to
Hmm.
put you somewhere so you're not homeless. There's like 15 of those. Do you know how often those are filled with
Always,
DSS cases?
always.
Yeah. So like I extrapolate that out to New York City, which is millions of times larger. They're not just filling fucking hotels and motels, man. There's no way. There's no way that's all they're doing.
Yeah. That's where these programs are coming from. It's like, oh, they're actually getting $3,000 a month because their rent is paid for, and that's also going to drive up the price. Where it's like, you're saying the government's giving me a blank check to put this illegal family into. Okay, 2,500.
That's why I'm saying I don't think that number is actually honest.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a 1% vacancy rate below 1650. No, you want to know how many rentals there are below 1650? Maybe
0.
100.
Yeah.
There may be one that's free. And it's just like you're lying.
Hmm.
You're lying.
Well, yeah, and well, that's also just people in transit. That's someone that just moved out, and then someone's moving in next week. That's it. There's a 1% like minimum because that's just people that are moving in and out.
So like the really really nice places around here would be like 2,000, $2,500 a month for like 3 bedrooms. Like a 3 bedroom house.
Yeah.
Because people like rent trailers and modulars and stuff like that for about that price. You're looking about $2,000 for something that's just by yourself. I saw a 3 bedroom house the other day that had a beautiful fucking view. So I'll give it that.
Hmm.
Complete view of the river and everything else, and all the way into the valley, you could see the mountains. $5,500 a month,
Hmm.
nothing included. I'm like, this is fucking retarded. Like, is this high end? Absolutely. I completely give it that respect. But it's like, people see this number, $5,500, and they're going to say, oh my God, look, a bargain.
Yep.
Because it's like, oh, any standalone house now is $5,000 to $6,000 a month. At what point is anybody that is younger than me going to want to be like, yeah, I'm going to start a family? When
Exactly.
rent or life is fucking $3,000 a month minimum.
Hmm. And that also like, well, going back to your like how many illegals, like what happens to New York if let's say there's 500,000 illegals in there, and all that just gets freed up?
Yeah. And then you have everybody fucking leaving the city because of COVID.
Hmm.
How do those price drops happen? Because they're going to
Well,
crash.
Louis Rosman during COVID was kind of popping off because he was like trying to move his business because his little computer shop was too small. So he was looking for places, and he's just like, I've been looking for 4 years, and this building in like the middle of New York City has been vacant the entire time because it's $40,000 a month. So they're just doing like weird tax write-offy loopholey bullshit, and they're just keeping it empty. They're like. Like I don't understand how broken the system is or what's going on where people that own property they just leave it empty, and then they don't tank and they don't lose anything for it.
Because it's technically a loss. And
Yeah.
that's the thing that I think a lot of people try and get Trump on is like, oh, you know, he operates at a loss. That way he can write it off for 10 years and then, gain wealth. Okay, I absolutely agree. Everybody should be able to do that. Wait, you can.
Hmm. But
Every
then what's happening with like apartments and business things in New York, it's dying because of it. Like that, what's happening? What kind of collusion's going on? Also, funny thing about Trump is like I remember when everyone was making fun of Amazon back in like 2011, 2012 because like, oh, Amazon hasn't ever been profitable ever. It's like, yeah, that's because they're reinvesting every dime they get into new projects and stuff, so they have no profit to post. And then they're getting the tax write-offs and the benefits, and then 2018 you turn around, they're worth $1 trillion.
Yeah, because that's how you're supposed to
That's how
run
you do it.
businesses.
I saw that in like 2012 when it was like Amazon Prime came out, and it was just like, what do you mean I can have anything delivered to me in 2 days? While before the enshittification, before the Chinesium stuff happened, where it's like, this is as cheap as if I went to Walmart, sometimes cheaper. Because we were actually getting real products at a fair price instead of China now giving us some Temu shit at 10 times the price of what you find at Walmart.
You take no profits. You make
Exactly.
your number as close to zero, if not less than zero, as you possibly can, legally,
Yeah.
and you make it look, and you do it. So that way everything is put back into your business because next year is going to be bigger.
Yeah, and
And then
Amazon
you
was just
keep
growing.
going and keep going and keep going and repeat and repeat and repeat until you're a millionaire.
Yeah, and
It's
then they
not
took over the
complicated.
world. Yeah, they took over the world. Now they can get away with it. Now they can get away with selling you lower quality product at more price. So we just need to
When you have
crack down
people like,
everything. Like, kick out all the Chinese people that are buying up farmland near American bases. Punish online retailers that actually take Chinese products, which is kind of what the tariffs aren't even being that good at. It's still all crap on Amazon, but like need to actually hold Amazon accountable. Fine them. It doesn't like even though people are like, oh, if it's just a money fine, then it's not going to deter the business. I don't care if the government fines Amazon 10 billion and that goes into the economy or like into our profit as a government. Sure, fine. They deserve it. We need action, which is why I'm happy at what's happening in LA.
yeah, and there's so much outcry for what's going on in LA. And it makes me fucking baffled at the retardation that people genuinely don't fucking get it. So a quote came from Trump today saying that he talked to Gavin Newsom yesterday. And he actually talked to him on Saturday. And Gavin's like, look, you guys don't even know what your fucking leader if he remembers which day it is. And it's like, dude, that dude's probably on 18-hour days right now. You know, if I was on 18-hour days for a fucking week and a half, 2 weeks straight, while half of my country's fucking being burnt down or
Mm-hmm.
being threatened to be burnt down, how tired I would be if I would remember which day it was.
Yeah.
Because I don't think most people do.
I mean, I work from home with YouTube, and I don't know what day it is. If I miss trash day, I genuinely wonder if I'm ever going to recover from it. Because then you got to put in, a bag and a half. You still got the other half of bag, and then you got to cut it down. It takes 3 weeks to get over one bad trash day.
Yeah.
And if I sleep in on that day, it's like, oh, damn, I forgot. Unlucky. Like, genuinely had no idea it was coming up. I hear the trash thing outside. It's like, But also, Gavin's saying that not as like oh, he's overworked and he's losing track of things. They're trying to run with the lie from like 2016 that he's senile and Biden's the sharp one.
And the reaction of what everybody's taking that as is, oh, we need to 25th him. Fucking idiots, man. He's looking at pressing the Insurrection Act again in LA. He failed to do it in Minneapolis and Minnesota and Wisconsin during the George Floyd riots.
Bro,
He
it's,
didn't
it's
do
yeah,
it.
exactly. Like it's so crazy. It's like, man, we could have shut it down then. This is what happens when you give leftists an inch. You don't like you can't. We got to go back to Kent State. We got to go back to everything, man.
Like, and they want to compare him to a whole bunch of fucking funny mustached people for like running the country like that. It's like, no. You want to know who was the first main person that ran the Insurrection Act? The first big answer that you get on Google is fucking JFK.
Yeah,
What was he fighting for? Was
that
he
was like
fighting for
Cuba shit,
racism
right?
or fight? No. The first thing was, well, the first main thing that comes up on Google might not have been the first use of it that he did or didn't do, whatever. There was problems in Birmingham, Alabama, at a school
Yep.
about a black football player trying to join the team and stuff like that. He was allowed, but he wasn't allowed on campus or something similar,
Mhm.
and like a riot broke out. He sends in the National Guard, breaks it up, and kind of puts his foot on the start of racism. not the start of racism, but
Yeah,
like
and
the
then we
start of
saw that
racial
with
tension in that situation.
Central High School when they desegregated and all the
Yep.
kids were trying to block like 9 black students from getting in, and then they like actually like just had bayonet rifles. Like that's why I'm crazy. I'm like, bro, where's the live ammunition in L.A. when like there were just some racist high school kids, even though it wasn't even racism back then, because that was just the entire culture that had like bayonets like right on them because they didn't want to let like some black kids go to school versus burning down everything. Cop cars. I find it like I saw one thing where they were like hiring the Google self-driving cars just to light them on fire because the Google cars just kept showing up. It's just like, bro, what is happening here?
And it's just like there's
And
a
then Trump's
big
the
problem
somehow
here.
the yeah, and then Trump's somehow the fascist for not shooting that.
It's like he's talking about doing it. He's trying to give them a chance to stop.
Hmm.
Like, can we stop thinking that every man out there is a fucking demon and a fascist and a problem and start looking at people trying to give people a chance for humanity. When you look at somebody in the eyes and say, "Hey, stop doing this. If you don't stop doing this, I'm going to fucking react. And when I fucking react, you're not going to like it." That's not a threat. It's a fucking promise. It's a fact of life. Stop thinking that somebody showing humanity and giving you a chance to fucking fix your problem is
Yeah.
narcissism.
It's baffling. Where it's just like after the first mortar round hits a police horse, it should just be on the megaphone. 5 minutes to live ammunition. That would end it real
That's
quick.
that's what they're that's similar to what the fuck they're doing. So fucking they had this dipshit. I can't fucking stand this dipshit. That's the fucking paperwork of them posting about it. See, 15 fucking tabs open.
Hmm.
God damn it. Where the fuck it go? Where
Well,
the fuck
actually,
it
I'm
go?
just like I don't understand how someone can be so far gone they don't realize like how polite, how kind, how restrained this is when you're burning down a city and attacking cops for doing their job and also like enforcing illegal immigration and like you're responding with extreme violence and this is legitimate terrorism. Like terrorists should never be treated this kindly.
Exactly. This right here. Hassan, ICE raids in LA, National Guard deployed, get ICE out of LA.
You don't even have a country at that point if it's just like you're not allowed to have illegal immigration enforced in the country. Oh, I was
No,
looking at
you have.
okay, good. Here's a pop quiz. When did
Yep.
sanctuary cities happen?
Was it 2016?
2007.
Was 2016 the spike in them?
Yeah, well, that was when like everything just got. 2016 was when everyone was getting deranged and stuff. So that's
Yeah.
actually yeah, because Trump won the election, or it was looking like Trump was going to win. So everyone just poured into the sanctuary cities.
Yeah. And they
But
started announcing them live on like TV. Oh, this is
yeah,
now a sanctuary city. And this is, it was something like that, right?
yeah,
Like,
it
I'm
was just
not
like
crazy.
yeah, it was just like an anti-Trump thing where it just there was a
Yeah.
virtue signaling. You open up your cities to crime and illegals as a virtue signal. But yeah, 2007. I didn't go any further because my initial reaction was like, okay, I imagine because the way presidency works is like after you get elected, you after midterms, it's going to be a Democrat House that passed that in 2007.
Yeah.
So you think like, oh, under Bush everything's fine. You know, we got conservatives in. No way, all this illegal stuff's going to happen. That was Obama era where sanctuary cities start. Now it was that House that led into Obama that got it. 2006 House elections, sure. Yep, Democrat.
Okay.
Democrat House
So
back in 2007 passed sanctuary cities, and here we are.
when did these LA riots start? Like, what day?
It's like 5 days ago.
5 days ago? Okay. So I was just looking at so let me share this tab instead. Go to this one. Okay, so they're looking for the toughest badasses in the city, Los Angeles, private, seeking extremely tough, brave men for a new crew I'm building. Compensation 6,500 to 1,250 per week. We're forming a select team of the toughest dudes in the area. This unit will be activated only when the situation demands it, but you will get paid every week no matter what. High pressure, high risk, no room for hesitation. We need individuals who do not break, panic, or fold under stress and are basically all around kick ass dudes. Honestly, after just reading that part, tell me that this does not read like Hassan wrote it.
That's what I mean. I'm like this. It's mostly like this has to be like fake, right? But these people are getting paid somewhere. Soros is
No,
funneling money around somehow.
I, I'm going to tell you exactly where the money comes from, too. This was posted 4 days before the riot started. This was posted on June 5th.
Mm.
We are recruiting those who are already hard, badass, and ready for confrontation when necessary. However, we can train you if necessary. What we're looking for: mental toughness. You keep a level head under pressure and you don't panic. Bravery.
Such a LARP.
You
That's what I mean. It's like
face
this is such a
injury.
fake LARP. How am I going to get paid at the end of the week? It's all fake.
Reliability. You show up when it counts. No excuses. No disappearing acts. Strength, mental and physical. You can endure discomfort, pain, and stress and stay focused. Team discipline. You will work well under leadership and with others. You know when to lead and when to follow and how to keep cool when things get hairy. Bonus experience. Military, except for Marines. We don't work with Marines anymore. Long story. Law enforcement or private security background. Background in crisis situation, tactical response, or high intensity roles. Experience facing trained opposition, military or otherwise. To apply, send your name, contact number, and whatever. But right here, posted 4 days ago. And that is
On the
screenshot
ninth, yeah.
on June 9th. That's why I asked when it started. So then I got really confused and everything else. Where is this?
Well, again, I'm just like, even if it's one of those things that would be interesting, I wouldn't trust it. We're like, this is a honeypot. This. What if this is actually just ICE trying to find gang members, and that's what started it? That's my conspiracy theory. I'm sticking to it.
Oh shit! I clicked the wrong fucking button.
Yeah.
It is.
You could say this is where the Soros money's come from. Mine is this is ICE honeypotting, and then that launched the entire riots.
So, No Kings, June 14th, mobilize.
Yeah, I've seen that.
This is the new thing that they are going to do. They are going to be trying to run these in every single city in the
It's
United
Floyd
States.
all over again, where they ran it everywhere, and then Seattle lost 2 city blocks or whatever.
They say, we are people of principle and honor. We honor our commitments and stand by our allies. We defend against aggression and dictators. We uphold and defend the Constitution. We care for veterans and children. We respect our neighbors and trading partners. We support a healthy national and international economy, community, and environment. We are the world leader, trusted to uphold the stability of the rule of law. Paid for by Christy Walton.
You
If
mean
you
the
don't know
Walmart
who
Walton?
Yeah, if you don't know who the Waltons are, they are the pieces of shit that make you pay more every single fucking week, depending on where you're going
But
shopping,
I thought
because
you
they don't
expect
give
more
a
and pay
fuck.
less.
Yeah, they're also the same assholes that told everybody to go fuck themselves when tariffs started, and it could have been passed off to them in China. They said, no, we're going to pass it off to the consumer because that's how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that is the people who you guys are agreeing with right now, and that's mind blowing to me.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I've already brought this up on other episodes where it's like billionaires are bad unless they're talking about climate change for their own benefit, like Soros and Bill Gates, and they're doing all this New World Order stuff. Like, I don't understand. The Global World Economic Forum is just like all billionaires and world leaders and all the people that the left are supposed to be against, but because they're getting played by the World Economic Forum, they're just like, yeah, but they say the things we want to hear. It's like, you guys are all idiots. And that's what I mean. It's like,
Helping
yeah,
helping out Christy Walton, leading the front lines, Leah Greenberg and Ezra Levin, co-founders of the radical group Indivisible. They're also connected to NoKings.org, which openly trains activists on how to organize, protest, and escalate unrest. These groups are well funded through US aid and various other NGOs
yeah, I've seen a
and
lot of
other
other ones where it's
multiple
like, oh, this
source
is
linked
Clinton money.
foundations.
This is
Yep.
USAID money. It's like, oh, we're funding our own riots against us to keep illegals in this, to keep the 30 million illegal immigrants in this country, to then steal more U.S. aid and welfare money.
Yep. And it has the post tagged as well, and it said, "So here's the real question: Cash Patel and Pam Bondi, what are you doing about it? The organizers share the same early life, and Christy Walton is funneling money into these protests, and yet again, no action." Now, I'm sure that a lot of people are like, "Oh, where are these fucking protests happening?" Right? This is where it gets really, really fun. As of June 3rd, this is when all of these things were planned. And I want you to look for your city, guys, because I'm sure that it's here. I'm sure it's covered by one of those blue circles, isn't it?
Yeah. Key West is even getting it.
What? Why is this circle? Why is Boston the biggest circle on the entire map?
Well, that's because it just sucks up everything at that point.
It's just like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, places with planned rallies, meeting, or visibility events as of June 3rd, 2025. This is before the riot started. So can we stop looking at everything as if it's just attack, 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 because that's what it's been.
That No Kings thing, it's like, I guess they're just trying to run back Summer of Love with George Floyd. Remember that was going to be a Summer of Love, guys. And they go and steal a chunk of Seattle and burn cities to the ground and kill cops. Let's go. They're doing it again. No, this is what I mean. Where it's just like how we've become an improper. We don't have a country if it's just like, oh, it turns out 30 million illegals and we're not allowed to stop terrorism. Nah, fuck it. At that point, I don't care anymore.
And it and you see this shit with everything that happened with Trump and Elon last week. At the on Thursday, Friday of last
I'm
week.
kind of upset that we didn't do an emergency episode. That was thousands of views on the main video. We just ran it.
And it's just like, okay, I was right in that situation. At least I think that I'm being proven more and more right as time goes on. And I'm gonna call it out here. I think it was WWE level fucking work on fucking everybody, and everybody
It's
fucking
actually looking like it was more 4D chess somehow, because I was just like, as I was watching both dads fighting, which Milo, he had the greatest tweet. He said, "This is why a household of two dads doesn't work."
mm-hmm.
He nailed it. But at the same time, I was watching this go down. I'm just like, oh no, please be a misunderstanding. Like, we can't get these two to hate each other. This, like, and that was, as I was going down, I'm like, oh my god, Elon is burning the bridge. He is
Yeah,
doubling, tripling down.
to me, there's two answers for this, and both of them are plausible. And I'll pin them all to you guys. You guys tell me what fucking happened in your opinion. Either this is a House of Cards level action, where that black eye didn't come from anybody other than somebody in Trump's cabinet or Trump himself or Donald Trump Jr. There's a couple answers there. You could find one. And, that's why he's apologizing publicly, is the fact that, they told him directly, you're going to lose all of your contracts if you do not apologize.
I don't think that's
Or,
why the apologize was happening.
but it's
Yeah.
possible. You can't you
Yeah.
can't look at it and be like, this is not
There's
that.
like 10 different possibilities slash outcomes here. Gotta just go through them.
And the second one to me is that this is a WWE level fucking story. They wanted to see what would happen if they broke apart the two strongest people in the entire world. You have the richest man in the world standing next to the most powerful man of the free world. How does this look against everybody else? They see it as fucking chaos and control. Okay, so let's break them apart and see how the entire world divides. Let's make it look like there's so much going on in the background that we need to fucking showcase everything. Because if any of this was true, don't you think fucking Elon's tweet about the Epstein logs would have pushed him to fucking release it that day if he wanted to prove him wrong?
Well,
He
here's
wanted
the
to
thing
leak
about
these
that.
shits.
Elon said something that was already known. He is like Trump is in the files, in the flight logs, but never went to Epstein Island. This came out when Epstein went to prison. We already knew this, so he's just quoting that, not like, oh, I'm bringing out my government insider information. And then that's where this got really confusing. Cause I'm like, when it was first bubbling up, I'm like, okay, why? Like, we know why they were fighting because it was over the big beautiful bill, and I think Elon reacted to it a little too quick. Cause like, guess what? We just came out of 4 years of Biden. There's no shrinking the deficit in the first year. This has actually got to spend our way out of it, which everyone like that's always like the dumbest thing to ever hear. But I think the only way we can do that is we gotta spend our way out of this one because then the tariffs will give us all that money back. But we can't recover from 4 years of Biden.
Yes,
You're what?
that we're going to cut. I said, I think he was promised that it was going to be a little bit bigger than that. I think he thought that we were going to cut things and start paying things off.
Yeah. And then also when you look at the bill, there's only good stuff in it. When like all the representatives were like, "Hey, let's look at it," and then they were like, "List off." So I'm like, "Oh, I don't care if we add another trillion after Biden added 10 trillion or whatever. I don't care if we add another trillion to do all these things. This is what we need. How are we going to fund all these ICE raids? How are we going to fund all this Homeland Security deportation, $1,000 each, without adding another couple billion here and there?" So it's like we'll bring it back down. I don't think it's that critical, especially as long as like Trump's in the office. So like Elon got upset about that, and then it just imploded. And then like I was just like, no, don't make this irreparable. Misunderstanding, please. Elon, read the bill. Trump, don't be completely stubborn. Just be 90% stubborn, even though it's impossible for you. I want to see kiss and make up, please. Dads are fighting. I don't like it.
That's why I think that this was 4D chess. The
Wait,
thing that you
also,
had.
another thing that I just hit like it just hit my mind where I can understand Elon also being upset all of his work at Doge just going away, but that's not Trump's fault. That's why it's like, wait, chill, cool it off for like another 2 days and work this one out because like yeah, we need to get those Doge cuts gone, but for some reason the rhinos, we have people conservatives not voting to pass that stuff while adding to the deficit. I can understand why Elon's pissed, and then Elon took it too far, and then I don't know what happened.
Well, like 3 days before that shit started blowing up, the thing that was all over the news was the leader of France, that's Emmanuel Macron. He was physically assaulted by his wife publicly.
Yeah,
He got the shit slapped out of him.
that was wild too.
And it's like, okay, guys, we need to get this off the news. And then all of a sudden, things blow up in between Elon and Trump. And either that's horrible fucking timing, or it was done so fucking masterfully because they saw that it wasn't fucking leaving the news.
No, Macron's horrible. No, they would
Oh,
never do that
absolutely.
to give him cover. That was
We
luck.
would definitely cover France. Not Macron. I completely agree with you there.
Yeah.
But saving France to be in the limelight, we absolutely would do that. They've been.
But then the crazier thing happened. The LA riots started, and then no one cared that Trump and Elon were fighting because Trump's response to the riots were so good that everyone's just like, go Trump!
Yeah. And honestly, if everything happened with Elon and Trump, I actually kind of side with Elon.
Nah, like I said, I sided with Trump because that bill is great. That is a big, beautiful bill. Elon got too hasty. I understand why he's upset about the Doge cuts. He needed to not get so hot headed, and they worked that part out.
That's why I think that, like, Elon, although he's an ADHD tism motherfucker, I don't think he's that angsty to where he fucking jumps at every little thing. Otherwise, he wouldn't have as much money as he does. That's not how that works. So honestly, they made him look like a very, very, very spurgy motherfucker and look like a Reddit nerd and everything else. And they allowed him to showcase the other part of himself. But showcasing himself, absolutely, they had to hide something. Something was covered up or something was hidden at that point.
I don't think they were covering up. I think it was just bad timing.
So you don't think that this is a work? You think that something actually happened?
Well, no, I'm not saying that isn't a work. I'm saying that it wasn't to cover up anything. It might have just been to get attention. I don't know. Like, I don't know what would happen because now, like, they're making up, and that's kind of the crazy thing where Elon apologized. So, oh no, wait, actually no. The work is to get people to support the release of the Epstein files. That was the crazy thing. Like Democrats, all of a sudden, everyone wants to see the files because Elon said Trump. That's the work, not because Macron got the shit beat out of him by his wife.
Thank you. Thank you for getting to say what I wanted you to say.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I knew the answer was there somewhere, and not that you wanted me to say it. I just have so many other thoughts about everything going on because, like, oh, this got buried by the LA riots, and it's also 5D chess because now
I
they
just
made
don't want
up.
to feed every answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just be like, this is the answer because everybody's like, no, Zach, you may be an idiot savant some ways, but this isn't everything. But, like, no, that's exactly what I think it is.
Yeah,
Because the Democrats now have to bury at least Bill Clinton,
yeah.
if not Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and two or three other big fucking heads of state.
Bill Gates,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Who's crying in the White House today about cutting U.S. aid.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny thing where it's like the Epstein, like, that. I think it could have also just been a play to get the government to move faster on the Epstein files. I don't know, but that I think there was also a time where they took it a little too far. Like I think there was actually some bad feelings there, and then Trump didn't want to talk about him. Vance was taking the piss though. He said like slow news day. I've got who did he have on his podcast? The redneck
No, it
dude,
was Theo Vaughn
Theo
had
Von. Yeah,
JD Vance on his podcast.
yeah. But then Vance tweeted out like, "Oh, slow news day. What are we going to talk about?" So like, Vance didn't care that they were fighting. So something's up.
That's my point. That's why I think that black eye was not X's fucking fault. That was Trump or Vance.
But also Trump,
And it was
like
done on purpose.
even I think Trump has too much ego to let anyone shit talk him, even as a play.
No, that's where you don't understand New Yorkers fully. If you started shit talking me, am I going to get in my feels or shit talk you back?
But it's Trump.
I don't think he's as narcissistic as everybody else says he
I
is.
know, but it's still he's on the upper end. He's not the extreme caricature that other people make him out to be, but he also does not let anything go.
Exactly. And he held Elon to the exact letter of what he accepted. He was saying things to Elon that was going to cost him billions. His his stock tanked. And like if you don't think about it in that way, it's crazy. His stock is how he owns Twitter, which is how he owns Grok, which is involved, I believe, in Starlink and SpaceX. He told him he was going to remove his contracts for SpaceX and Tesla. How much do those fucking stocks tank if the US government no longer backs them at all?
I think we broke it down at some point where like NASA is getting funded like 2 bill and SpaceX was getting funded like 6 bill or something. I mean, like Elon's net worth is what 200 bill or something crazy. So like 6 bill, he can just fund that himself. He can fund his own government pool. I don't think he was scared of the government. I think that was just whatever posturing was going on.
That's my point is like I think he was saying things that everybody could pick out that would genuinely hurt Elon. Elon was saying things that would genuinely hurt Trump. And they wanted to grab the people that were anti Elon for the past, a year and a half now because he supported Trump openly. They just brought them back to the Republicans. They got everybody questioning what the fuck the Epstein files are.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who already hated Elon and didn't want anything to do with him and hated fucking Tesla and everything else, they were gone anyway. Now they're even questioning it because now the Epstein files are back on the table again because they want to nail Trump to the fucking wall. If Elon walks back into
Yeah.
that fucking office with the fucking Epstein files in his hand and said, "Here, Mr. President, let's read these out on Fox News tonight."
And
What's
also,
that look
like
like?
Elon's gamble on that got debunked immediately. It's like, so you're telling me that Elon let his kids get babysat by Trump or his grandkids get taken care of by Trump when he knew he was in the files. So it's like, oh, you lose immediately, Elon.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think Trump was a part of going to that
But
island.
but but that shows like, oh, you didn't believe it either, Elon. Why would you say that? And that's why I'm kind of worried. That's why I was worried. Like, if this isn't a ploy, or if that's like Trump didn't know that was on the script, Elon goes off script, and now Trump is legitimately mad. Now we got problems. And also, they haven't like kissed and made up yet. That's why I'm waiting for. It's a 5D chess play. If we see them being buddies again, then like, okay, yeah, this was all an act. This was all scripted. But I saw Elon apologize. I haven't seen them go back to exactly where they were. What are you looking up?
I'm looking to see if there's been any response.
Ah, I thought you were about. I'm looking up that they are exactly where they were because this happened 2 hours ago. I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't think Trump said anything. Even I don't even
He
think Trump.
has.
Oh, did he respond to the apology?
Donald Trump responds to the Elon Musk late night apology after ugly public feud. There's a video. I'm not watching a video. I'm not watching an ad. Fuck you all. That's his off script. No, it went off on Trump. Why is this so fucking zoomed in? I hate this. I hate having to zoom in on shit. My screen's too big for that. I regret some of the posts about President Donald Trump last week. They went too far. And when asked whether he would go back to a regular relationship with Musk, Trump told the Pod Force One podcast, "I guess I could, but we have to straighten out the country first. That's my sole function now, is to get this country back to a higher level than it's ever been, and I think we can do that."
Hmm.
He is not counting off, being friendly with Musk. He's not counting off this not being an issue. He's just counting it off as like, hey, right now that's not my action. That's not going to be a public thing. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. I also wonder like how much I'll go for if we actually see the Doge cuts finally make it through and get passed and cut and all this stuff, and then maybe we see Elon back in a picture with Trump like 4 months from now or something. Because again, I do think that the LA riots, like, bad timing, Mr. Soros, to have that planned and then not like, because they can't change it. It's like, hey, you're getting paid on the 6th, you're however many thousands of dollars to show up to this riot. Can't take that back. When all those checks are done, those people already got their riot gear out of the back of a truck. So that was bad timing because then that buried the story, and now they're kind of making up, or at least they're neutral. I'm down with that. Like, they're neutral. Maybe it wasn't 5D chess. Maybe it was 3.5D chess. Yeah, something happened. It's fine. They're good.
I wonder if the next
Republican
step...
Party didn't divide in half, because that's a problem. Like, Democrats are united communists no matter what happens, no matter how terrible the person they throw up there is, no matter what they do, they cannot be divided. Conservatives have free will and free thought and an IQ above 80, so they can have conflict with each other, and that can ruin us. But it didn't
I
here.
wonder if the next step, because this is where I look at 4D chess, and I understand exactly where this could have gone. Is, Elon is an immigrant. He comes from South Africa. He had a really, really good place to be like, guys, look, I'm not racist. I even deport white Africans. And just deport Elon back to South Africa. And just fuck you, Mr. Musk. I don't want anything to do with you. And, that sounds crazy, first off. But, like, think about where we just were.
That would
The
have been
richest...
6D chess.
Yes. Yeah, it would have.
Because all Democrats are saying, you can't deport illegals, you can't deport citizens, they have rights. But now they're in the middle of hating Musk and burning down all of his cars. That would be the ultimate conflict. I think people would actually, like, you'd just be watching a camera of the protest on stream, and people would just fall apart. Like, actually just rip in half, like some kind
What
of...
the fuck just happened? How
Yeah.
does that make sense? He's white. Oh, wait, he's African, but he's white and rich. And everybody would fucking lose it.
Yeah.
And then they fly like a big branded fucking SpaceX Tesla fucking private aircraft that everybody has followed for like years and years and years over to South Africa and just like exploded over there. And then like a month or two later, on like President's Day, announced that all of the Doge fucking things are approved. And then you have Elon Musk join Donald Trump as he takes the stage in the middle of DC.
Yeah.
And they shake hands and say, guys, we love this country.
Who's that coming out of smoke? Wait, it's Elon Musk!
because it would have been taken directly from WWE.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the level that this shit reads to me. It shows the exact kind of thought process that, went into that. That they just want to play games and have fun and see what happens. I think that they were fucking temperature checking people. That's what I genuinely think.
I don't think it was that. Like I said, I still think Trump's ego is too big for a temperature check like that, or Elon went too off script. Like, there hasn't been enough formal rectification to make me think that it was kind of like circular, played out. This was the entire plan. But like I said, minimum 3.5D chess to at least confuse Dems.
And I think that they're still okay enough to talk behind the scenes because I think
Yeah.
that apology was done after a conversation. That's how those things work. He's not going to publicly apologize and beg for Trump to come back to the table. That's not Musk as a person, now is it? You guys say he's a narcissist too. Is he a narcissist? Or is he really just somebody who's going to openly say, hey, yeah, guys, fuck, I have to apologize. I said too much about the president, who I called my best friend last week. If he's really your best friend, do you really think anybody gives a fuck of when you said something about them?
Well, also, if you know he's in the files, why are you a best friend with him? He had a pretty hard Adderall crash out, and maybe even caught Trump off guard, and that's going to create problems. I don't know.
So, funny other thing that got deported in our nice little YouTube community. Do you know the dude Khaby Lame? The dude who reacts to everything and just goes.
Yeah, yeah.
So, in all of this ICE stuff and everything else, obviously he's an immigrant from Africa. I believe it's Ghana. It could be a different one. Um,
Oh, he's from a
uh,
very strange country.
yeah, exactly.
Single? I think he's Sinhalese.
I don't think it was Senegal. You can look at it
Yeah.
as I'm sitting here explaining it. But he's one of the largest YouTubers in the entire
TikTok. I
world.
think he was the largest TikToker.
Yeah. He's absolutely transcended quite a bit of the platforms and everything else. He's released toys inside of Walmart and other stores and everything else. And he openly accepted to be deported back to his country because he overstayed his visa.
Yeah,
And
he's Senegalese.
it's like,
Senegal.
dude, that is so huge that you were willing enough to go back to Africa to be like, hey, I'll go reapply, send me back real quick.
I find it crazy that he was illegal. Like, it's mostly like, how many are there? It's
And
everyone.
so that's where I don't like how they paint everything. If somebody overstayed a visa and they had like say 4 years on a visa, I don't remember the timelines of it, and they overstayed by 6 months because they didn't realize that your
Bro,
fucking license
you're the
expired,
biggest internet celebrity in the world. You got no excuse. That's deliberate.
and it was deliberate enough to accept it and go back day one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's big to me. He's saying, hey, I admit it. Thank you. I apologize.
Well, that's because you don't want to lose everything. It's like, I got caught. Yeah, you got me. I'm going back home. Ah. He just did that. He just pointed the finger like, you got me.
But no, I thought it was interesting that he's like, guys, I'm illegal. Sorry, send me back to Africa. I will be back. I will apply for citizenship again. But that shit to me, if he applied for citizenship, nobody fucking knows if he did. And if he did, and it's known, whatever. Why wasn't he granted citizenship? If he applied for it, why wasn't it granted? Say he's a normal fucking person, YouTuber who's making hundreds of thousands of dollars and we're taxing him on them. Why is he not a citizen or at least a dual citizen?
I don't know. What if
That's
he
where
didn't apply for it? What if he just wanted to get the visa and just chill here for a bit to see how it was before applying for citizenship? He liked it and he's just like, I'm popular enough, they'll keep me here. And then it was like, no, this isn't Biden. This isn't Biden. This is Trump. He came in over Biden. He thought he could just integrate and that was it. They'd find him 5 years later and go, you've been here long enough. Here's your green card. Not Trump.
So it's really hard to figure out exactly where this Trump derangement syndrome stops because
You
it
can't.
blows my fucking mind sometimes. And we we're looking at one of the problems earlier, and I dealt with a problem earlier too. So earlier today, nope, posted a day ago, was this.
Hmm.
They're looking for seat fillers in Washington D.C. where they
I
want
think
you to
it's all
wear.
about framing.
Yeah, exactly. They want it to look correct and everything else. That's why they're asking for you to wear specific colors. Like it's a very obvious answer of what they're exactly trying to do. They're trying to make it look cohesive and together and everything else. They're they're paying you $1,000 in order to do that. Whether or not you agree with that, I could completely understand either side. They're paying you to be there. Most all of these people, logically, would have been there anyway.
Well,
Do
it's
you
not
really
even
think
that.
that
It's seat fillers are a very specific thing. If someone gets up to go to the bathroom in the VIP area, that can't look empty. If someone's sick and they are not able to exchange their ticket because they wake up throwing up that morning, that could be a couple dozen people. That these are just standbys and fillers, and there's a Seinfeld episode about it where Kramer wins an Oscar or something. Because that's just this has always been for every event. The Oscars have it, every televised thing has it, sports, this is just a job. This is like finding an actor on Craigslist for your thing. It's not Trump can't get enough people to fill out stadiums, so he's paying them now. This is just an actual profession to be a seat filler, or at least a freelance gig.
and that's interesting to me. I don't see anything negative with this.
Yeah.
This is not be a big tough burly guy. We're gonna go riot a fucking city. This is come sit in this chair and wear a red fucking hat like a normal fucking person because hey, somebody got sick and they had to leave.
Yep.
Or
That's
even
all it
if they're
is.
just filling out the you look at a fucking stadium show and there's always that area that's like semi filled because people didn't show up or traffic was too bad and people were late.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
also
Like there's
it's also
always
about
that
the
section.
cameras. Because like
Yeah.
there's gonna be one part of the crowd that always has a camera on it just because it's a stadium and that needs to be 100% capacity. So you will
Yeah.
pay people to fit in there and that's it. And then like yeah, it pans out and turns out half the stadium's empty. But like Trump isn't doing this to pay $1 million to make something look full. This is just to professionally fill out the
Make the
venue.
picture look correct.
Yeah. And also,
And then
didn't this come out for like all of Biden's and Kamala's rallies? Where like they were paying people to be there.
Kamala's rallies were really bad, if I remember correctly. They were handing them signs that didn't even like pertain to what they were. Wasn't it like something like a dude was wearing, holding like up an abortion sign or something like that? And
Also,
like,
it's weird because you don't see 30 trucks of or like buses of people come in for Trump rallies, but for some reason Democrats need to bus in people from other states.
just doesn't make any sense to me. And then whatchamacallit? So I walked a little bit today, probably
Oh
like
wait, we
three
didn't finish
miles.
off that story because I do
Yeah.
think the weirdest thing is they're paying $1,000 in cryptocurrency. That was fucked. That was just weird. So it's like, oh, you get $1,000 in Trump coin from his Fight LLC. That's sketchy. I'll call him on that. That's weird. What the fuck is going on there? But the actual seat filling, yeah, sure. That's just how life works.
Honestly, if it was if it was Trump coin, I think that it wouldn't say cryptocurrency. It would say Trump coin.
No, I think it's saying paid in cryptocurrency because it's Trump coin. People are like, oh shit, I'll get $1,000 in Bitcoin. Easy, easy money. If you get $1,000 in Trump coin, you're gonna be upset.
It depends on how much Trump holds of Trump coin.
It's also his Fight LLC, so that could only be his crypto.
Or it could be where his crypto holdings are. Say somebody like Elon gave them Dogecoin, where he
Doge
holds a shit
isn't
ton of it.
Doge isn't liquid enough to actually have like commercial value. Bro, it's Trump coin. You know it. Don't even try.
I'm just saying it might be. I understand where you're coming from. But there are other people out there that
One
just
in
want to
chat if
see
it's
crypto
Trump
things.
coin, everyone else is wrong.
But yeah,
You're
so
welcome.
I dealt with some Trump derangement syndrome today. My fiance went to work, so I had to walk up to the bank to get some paperwork and stuff like that. which was like 3 miles. And as I'm walking through town, I see this big ass fucking crane. I'm like, well, I wonder what the fuck they're doing. I live in a small town. There's no fucking cranes just randomly
Mm-hmm.
doing shit. Just none. And I crossed the road because that's what you're supposed to do when you see a crane doing work. You don't fucking walk through the work area like a fucking dunce, regardless of if it's gated or not. You don't fucking look for workers' comp claims. You fucking weirdos. So I walk to the bank, get the paperwork that I needed for all of the shit that's going on this week. And I start walking back, and the 18 wheeler's doing a fucking weird ass fucking turn because the truck driver was shit and almost knocked over a fucking light pole and everything else. And there was 2 trucks on the sidewalk, and they were parked on the sidewalk. But they had like 3 workers working Main Street and like guiding people around and making sure they went where they were supposed to go and stuff like that, to make sure the traffic and the foot traffic went where they were supposed to go. And there was like 5 or 6 cones sitting out. So like gate off places to where they could move the shit that they needed to move and not hurt anybody. I didn't see any need for anything else. It kind of made sense how they did it. You're in a small town. Why the fuck do you need everything like completely to the letter of the law? Why is everything not caution taped? Because why would there be 50,000 people walking past it and everything else? You probably don't need it. And I get home and I see this fucking Facebook post of this idiot who's sitting there posting saying, "Oh my God, look, there's a Tesla truck and a work truck parked on the sidewalk. And you all know what they did? They didn't care because they were Trump supporters." I'm like, what in the fuck is wrong with you? As I was walking back, there was a fucking traffic jam at the one light that's in town because they're working right after the light. And because they were moving the 18 wheeler, there's a traffic jam. And I saw this dude sitting at the fucking light, screaming at the fucking steering wheel because he was mad. The same dude I argued with over Facebook. And this dude sits there and bitches and complains and just acts like a fucking weirdo. Like, what? If your big point was to make sure everybody was safe, which is what he was saying, oh my God, it's not labeled anything else. There's nothing being done for safety. Okay, say, hey guys, watch out for the problem on Main Street. Hey, it's not gated off, but they're doing work over there. I would have supported you. I would have shared the post because, hey, you don't want anybody to get hurt. But you treating it like it's this big fucking political statement because they're fucking driving a Tesla makes you an asshole. Just openly makes you an asshole. So I said, "Hey, bud, um, where's the context of, hey, they have to park on the sidewalks that way people don't walk on the sidewalk and get hit by something, and the fact that they had multiple people and cones standing out to like guide walkers or people that are driving around to go the right way. Context, please." And he's like, "Oh my God, young boy. Motherfucker, I'm 31. Why are you young manning me at all?" He's like, "Young boy, you know nothing. From the time that you came from your your daddy's ball sack, I've known more about life than you'll ever learn. I just want to be left alone." Then why the fuck are you posting on Facebook, you fucking weirdo? So I come back. I'm like, "Buddy, you post more titty pics and show your nipples more to Facebook in fish pictures than most women do on Twitter.
Yeah, the narcissism's wild.
Nobody gives a fuck about you. Nobody cares. If you cared about people, it would have been, hey guys, watch out, be safe, blah, 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 blah." This dude comes back with, "Hey, young boy, you look like one of those motherfuckers that would piss in a kitty litter pan. Why don't you go back to doing that and shut your fucking mouth?" I'm not one of those people that just takes that sitting on the side. Just not. I don't fucking like it. I don't fucking like it. You're not going to keep calling me young boy either. So somebody else commented and said something similar to me. And I tagged him. I was like, this dude's a fucking idiot. He's just running his mouth, blah, 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 big and crazy things. This dude fucking private messages me offering to fucking, he gave me his address And he's like, motherfucker, I'll teach you what a real man is. How about you shut the fuck up, little boy?
What is
So I
happening?
searched so I searched the fucking address. And I'm like, he rents a fucking 700-foot apartment and he's never owned anything in his life and he wants to teach me what being a man is. What the fuck is this? This dude's 63 and he's threatening to fight me like he's fucking 15. So I commented back uh, to the mods, the police, whoever's looking at this. This dude isn't threatening people in the comments. He's messaging them and treating them like children and, threatening acts of violence because he's being allowed to publicly post about politics and everything else and his hurt fifis. So if we could shut down comments, blah, 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 blah. If any admins or anything want the threats, I won't post them here because doxing is illegal. But if you guys want them, just send me a message and I'll give them to you. Because I don't like that shit. Like, nobody's a why are you acting like you're 15 and you're going to go fight somebody in a fucking alley because you think you're a tough guy? Dude, you're probably like 5'8", 250 pounds, and you're taking shirtless pictures on Facebook with your fish. I thought those pictures were for Tinder.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This world is a weird ass fucking place. I don't get it.
That's just people. That's what social media has done. That's also because people watch too many movies. However, from what I've heard from like my stepdad and stuff, people were just like that in the 80s. Just over transgression, you beat the shit out of each other. But I don't know. It's all everyone's wrong. Violence wrong.
Yeah, he said, I don't want to bring others into your ignorance, but dang, I sure can hold my own. Let's see your keyboard warrior comments roll when you're standing face to face since you want to turn a simple post into something as you try to. But I can guarantee it. It ain't gonna come out in your favor. I said, yep, he's doing threats in DMs. If it didn't have his address in it, I would share it. Any admins want to ask, I'll offer it as well as the police. He then messaged me again. It's no threats, little man. Since the post has been shut down, figured we could speak our mind with it on social media, but I see you're a coward. All spelled incorrectly. But
That's the strangest phenomenon to me. Is like people like spelling errors are just off the charts now. Like it's like were people always this stupid or are they just getting this stupid? Like why can no one actually have proper grammar or spelling ever? Like it's not it's beyond the rate of just natural typos and stuff like, oh, these are just actual stupid people.
the
Belligerent
spelling error
stupid
there
people.
that got me is crazy. Is like, okay, so if they were working in a manhole, I would expect the slip up of hole, HOLE, instead of WHOLE would be understood, right? Like whole, the word whole, HOLE, should not be used in a sentence of describing the whole of something. And if there's no hole in something, you probably shouldn't use whole. It's not something that should be understood. This dude's like, you people are the whole problem. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Your hole is weak? Is that where you're coming from, buddy? Like I know fucking porn stars that have had their nipples seen less than your nipples on Facebook. I don't get it. I don't get this whole and this dude's like, "Oh my god, I'm a woodsman. Yes, I catch fish. Is it such a big deal that I catch bigger fish than you'll ever see?" It's like, dude, you are literally what's wrong with the world.
Yeah.
You are the uncle that nobody wants to talk to because you're just fucking obnoxious, weird, and voted for Kamala.
That's also like the weirdly sheltered aspect where it's like I went outside and caught a fish. It's like congratulations, anyone can do that, and the people that are actually like outdoorsy and adjusted and grounded, they don't have to like show that off as their a sign of their manhood. That's compensation.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, if you're so worried about being a woodsman and an outdoors guy, you want to know what you should do? Get off Facebook and stop posting about people's Teslas. Is it
Yep.
really that hard? Is it really that hard? Guys, go be a real man like this dude. We're actually being understandable man like us. We'll see you next time. See you fucking later.
Yep, later.